Shalom! Welcome to Torah Talk with Tamar. I'm Tamar, and on today's episode, I will be milking my sheep. So I started out by cleaning up my sheep, and she's a kicker and a fighter, so this was a little bit of effort, and I had to find creative ways to do it. But it also was an opportunity for my son to check out the sheep, and that's one of my favorite parts of keeping sheep, that my children get an agricultural education. The next thing to do was to move her to go eat for a moment. So now that I've got her cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands and get a warm washcloth to clean her udders before I milk her. I created my own setup for this process instead of having a traditional stanchion. And my logic behind it was that if I could secure her head and keep it still, just as a stanchion would, that we would be able to milk just fine. So I used a lead and tied that securely to my porch, which gave me a platform for milking, and I used brown wooden fencing to secure her from jumping. Now, as I mentioned before, she's a kicker and she's kind of disobedient. So I worked around that and tried to find different positions, but to no avail. She was being very stubborn. So I decided to tie her up at the bottom stairs so I could get a back angle for her, since it's recommended to milk sheep that way. Okay, so it's been a bit of a struggle, but I'm going to try again with an electric milker. So I decided that for time's sake and for ease of access, trying an electric milker would be good. And this time I was going to try my other sheep, who's a little bit more obedient and more docile. See how well she stands there? She's quite lovely. So I got her all set up on the porch, and I've got her lambs within view. I plug in the milker, and lo and behold, it's actually broken. We're all assembled and broken. It's a defective pump. So I call around for a new milker and can't find one. I decide to order a new one. And meanwhile, while I'm waiting for it, I thought it's a good time to shear her. These breed of sheep are hair sheep. And so I've read that they naturally shed their hair. But in reality, they leave big clumps all around your yard. So I decided to shear her. And I'm determined to see if I can actually use this type of hair, which is very close to wool, into some kind of project. So I did save some to the side. I did the best I could, but some of her hair was really tough, especially in the back. So I left it on there because she was getting a bit irritated and agitated. Although she loved when I was combing her, she seemed to feel a lot of relief from that. While I'm doing this, it was a great opportunity to educate my children about sheep. She spit her food back up, and she's chewing it again. They chew their food twice. Yeah. Okay, come on. Come on. Woo! Come over here. Come over here. I'm going to put you here. We're going to wash you up, okay? Let me sweep the hair up. Before I go to wash her up, I'm going to clean up the hair and save a good portion of it to see if I can make anything out of it eventually. The parts that were really gnarly and discolored beyond repair, I decided to use as fire starter. One of the reasons I believe that bacterial contamination happens in raw milk is because the sheep is putting off too many particles into the raw milk from debris and other bacteria from their body. So to limit this transfer, I cleaned her up. I don't like to separate the lambs too much from their mama, so as soon as I'm done cleaning her, I decide to bring her back to her lambs, and they seem to be happy about it too, except her second son, or her second lamb rather, the male one, wanted to stay back in the holding area, and I had to encourage him to come back to mama. Come on, Malik, over here. Come see your mama. The door's open. The door's open. Come on. You've been getting so big. Yeah? Hi. Come on, out. Go to your mama. Go. Having nursed 7 children myself, I think watching this process in nature is so beautiful. To see all of nature sustained through milk and breastfeeding is just wonderful. I have read that Katadhin breed of sheep is a very hardy sheep that doesn't need much assistance in nursing and does well. We did have a setback though. My sheep Azuka here with the lowly head got back into the chicken barn where she ate some feed that has copper in it. Now there is a debate about whether or not sheep need copper. More people, I believe, lean towards no, and some people say yes. So she ate a whole bunch of food that had copper in it, and I noticed she's having the same symptoms as when they did this before. But I'm trying to revive her, and I gave her one of her favorite snacks, carrots, hoping that she will feel better and be able to milk soon. And to my surprise, my brown sheep over here, Walnut, actually ate some carrots, because generally she does not take anything. You see those nice udders there, nice and full. I'm looking forward to milking her at this point. Although you will find out that I've had some other complications that have brought me back to the drawing board to think about what approach I want to take next. But back to what I was saying, my Walnut sheep here actually ate some carrots. I was very pleased and very surprised because I tried to get the minerals into their diet so that they can make abundant milk. And you know, they're not humans like me, but one thing I've known about breastfeeding 7 of my own children is that the more minerals I have, the more abundant milk that I'm making. Nutrition is everything for producing milk. But as you see, my poor sheep here, she's not feeling too good. And I don't think that it's some kind of flu or pregnancy, but I'm watching her, and she's licking the salt block and drinking water and eating grass, but not as vigorously as she used to. So Walnut over here will be the one that I will try first when my electric milker comes in, even though she's my kicker and she's very stubborn.
Welcome.
Although she's also has her sweet side and is always looking for me to see what I'm doing. And I'm trying to get a picture of her udders here. Not very... Oh, there's a little glimpse. She's doing pretty well. She's not producing as much milk as Azuka, but she does have only 1 lamb. She did have a stillborn, and I do not know what caused that, but, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and it's part of nature. Oh, there's a good view of her udder and her son hiding. He's so cute. My electric milker, though, did come in the mail. Alas, I washed it all up the night before, got it ready, and this time I decided that I would test the electric component before we're all assembled. It's buzzing, and that's great. So I'm outside, everything's assembled. I've got all the components, my electric box. I've got this white pail here that I previously used to try to milk with a spongy washcloth to wipe the udders and just make sure everything's really sanitary. And at this point, I need to give her a washing before we go because it's been about a week and some hair has grown back. And yet I ran into another setback, which is this electric milker does not provide enough suction to draw milk. So I've had a number of setbacks learning that hand milking this breed of sheep is very difficult. My first milker, electric milker, I ordered was broken. And now this one is working, but there's not enough suction to draw the milk. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and think on whether or not I want to try a different breed of sheep or get a more powerful milker. And that will take a little bit of research into milkers to see if it's possible. People do milk this breed of sheep, and right now you know, I'm not going to make any decisions. I'm not giving up. I'm going to be persistent and try to find the best approach. And we will eventually have some sheep milk for making cheese, cream cheese, butter, and drinking. Shalom.